Hey guys, welcome back here to the Fishing Teacher, and really appreciate you guys coming by the channel to check out the video today. We're going to be talking about a question that every angler has, including pros, is how long do you need to fish an area before you give up on it or try something else? It's like every situation is different on this, and it's like you don't want to leave an area prematurely, but you don't want to waste time in an area that you need to be out of. So I'm going to give you guys some tips and advice on how to know when it's time to make a move or when you need to either stay or give up on an area. So we'll get into that today. Also, guys, real quick, you probably seen my Vexus 1980 aluminum bass boat here. Guys, we have the boat for sale right now through Branson West Marine in Branson, Missouri. This is a 19-foot Vexus 1980. It's silver and black underneath the wrap. I could show you some pictures, whoever's interested. But anyway, guys, if you're interested in this boat, just give Robbie a call at Branson West Marine in Branson, Missouri. Tell him I told you to call. Whoever buys the boat, just like the one we sold last year, I'll take you out personally in it on Table Rock Lake and we'll run it around. You guys will love this thing, man. This has been my favorite boat I've had over the last 3 years, so we'll get into that. Okay, guys, how do you know when to leave? It's like, how do you know when to stay and when to leave? This is something that takes a lot of years of experience. I mean, we're talking about traditional fishing. I'm not talking about if you're live scoping in the middle of a cove and you can't see anything in that cove and you go to the next cove and look at your live scope. I'm talking about finding bass, real bass fishing ways, fishing to find fish, seasonal patterns, all that type of deal. Okay, one of the things that requires experience, it takes a while to do it, is reading the potential that an area has. And you don't really know unless you fished a lot and been through a lot of different experiences. But let me give you some tips and advice on reading an area, which will tell you how long to stay in an area, when you should give up on it. Every area that you're fishing has a level of potential to it, as far as the potential for that area to hold a number of fish. Some areas are a one fish deal. Say, for example, if you are on a bare bank that has one tree on it and you pull over to that tree and catch a fish, there's probably not any more fish on that bank. That was just a lone fish. But say, for example, if you have a real thick grass bed that's a 1/4 mile long, that area has potential to catch a lot of fish. And what you're going to find is the areas that have potential have some of the common denominators in it. They have a lot of cover, at a diversity of cover. Cover can be anything. Cover can be riprap rock, it could be lily pads, it could be a big line of boat docks, whatever the primary cover could be. It could be just rock transitions on a bank. But you have got an area that has a large enough area of diverse cover to support a decent sized group of fish. And in correlation with that, when you find an area that has a diversity of cover, you also have to have some type of a proximity to deeper water nearby, which means like a ditch or a creek channel or a river channel within 50 or 75, maybe 100 yards of that area. All of those factors combined, if you have deep water access, doesn't have to be immediately, but deep water, football field away or something, half the football field away, and you've got cover for the fish, that area has a lot of potential. And then you throw in there any activity that you see. Maybe you're going down the bank and you see a bunch of bluegill swimming down the bank, or you see some shad flickering, or you turn some rocks over on the bank and you see some crawdads dart out. If it has, food for the fish, if it has cover and a proximity to deeper water, that area has a ton of potential. And those are the type of areas that you need to spend more time in before you leave. So if you get to an area where you read it as this area's got a potential to hold a bunch of fish, you have to spend time breaking down what those fish want. Just because you make a pass through that area with a crankbait and don't catch one doesn't mean there's not a bunch of fish there. They may want a different type of crankbait, a different color. They may want a different lure completely. They may want a slow bait. You just have to sort of experiment a little bit to find out what the bass want. Not that you have to spend all day there, because if there's a decent group of fish there, you're probably going to catch a few of them, even if you're not using the best technique. So catching 1 or 2 fish in correlation with what I just laid out is important, because once you get an area that has a diversity of cover in it and that has everything together that's going to make it effective, then you've got to figure out exactly how to catch those fish and how they're positioned. And catching a couple fish will allow you to have confidence to know that there's bass there, and then you can just tweak your lure selection and colors a little bit. And then everything else has got different levels of productiveness. Like you've got on one end of the extreme where you have that isolated piece of cover, and then you have another end of the extreme where you have a bunch of diversity. Say you've got docks, lily pad fields, lay down trees. Everything else is sort of something in between. One area may just have some good looking rocky banks on it with no cover. Another area just may have some bad or some areas that don't look any good, but maybe there's 30 boat docks on it or something. So every area is going to be unique to itself as far as the potential that it has. But eventually you get to where you can read that. And the more that you read potential, the more that it will give you the right clue on how long to spend in that area. My rule of thumb, we've talked about this before, is if I get into a good looking area and I fish through that area for 15 or 20 minutes without a bite, and I feel there's fish there, then I'll make some type of a presentation adjustment, lure color change, lure category change, that type of an area. If I'm in an area that I don't think has a lot of potential, maybe I think there's a little bit of potential, and I fish for 15 or 20 minutes without a bite, I'll probably get out of there and I probably bail and look for some type of another area. But the main thing, guys, is you have to put yourself around the fish. You have to put yourself around a lot of fish. And you do that consistently by the areas you choose to fish. As far as just what I laid out, guys, pay attention. Every lake has a part of that lake that has the most diverse cover. Some more than others, but they all have it to some extent. That's what you got to look for. So hope it helps out.